Gateway Gamers podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Gateway Gamers. My name is Lord Bryan Marvel. Here with my peasant and fool, Robert Patrick.
I am the gesture of the courtroom. Welcome and welcome to the Gateway Gamers podcast.
My favorite part of that, and it makes me sad that we're not a visual medium, is your face. Because I did not tell you what I was about to do, and I just see you inch away from the microphone as I was doing it.
I'm a yes and mentality.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. The courtroom is alive.
I
don't. What's a jester do? Make the courtroom
I don't know.
lively, right?
He always just gets killed.
That's true.
That's
if
he doesn't make the king laugh, he's dead.
It's a stressful job.
Yeah. So how are you, sir? Like, everything's good? Everything's going well?
Yeah, it's nice to take a break from the X-Men mansion and discuss something else.
Yeah, you guys are crushing over on previously recorded.
Going ahead full steam. We've been coming at you with I don't know, a lot of X-Men episodes since the past 2 months. So that's been keeping me on my toes as well as my social life. Very busy, busy. But I'm good. Gamed this weekend incorrectly, but I gamed.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
So before we jump into anything,
How are you? How are you?
Forget it. No, we're not going to ignore. We need diet. You texted me what you texted me. I called you out, and then I haven't talked to you about it because I want to confront you on the air. So first off, you played Marvel X-Men United without me.
Yep.
So that was a big blow.
To my wife's chagrin. Yes.
Yeah, that was a big blow to me. And you claimed that you beat the Juggernaut easily.
I did.
Let's talk about this.
Incorrectly, because I saw after the fact. Now, there was many chalices of wine drunk on this ye old fair night. And I realized the next day, the picture I sent you, his BAM effect is that he hits everybody.
Yep.
I didn't do that because I was the game master, and let's just say the mutation was flowing strong that night. It was a long night. We recorded for 2 hours, and there were some X-Men themed drinks had, and I was like, let's play this game. And sometimes I will say, when I play with Audra, sometimes I do ignore some of these other things in the past, which I should not do because she's claimed this game is too easy. So we beat the Juggernaut, and we're like, oh, that's it? And I was like, I guess he's one of the base boxes.
Your guests enjoyed it.
They did. They had a good time.
So...
They just had a good time playing as the X-Men.
Yeah.
We had Beast. I was Beast, which this is a new revelation for me within the last couple of weeks that he is my favorite X-Men.
Yeah, Beast is awesome.
Not from the movies, which Days of Future Past, he looks a lot better than First Class. And
save it for your podcast.
Yeah, it's not out yet. But anyway, so we played that, and it's kind of a funny story, or the other game.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun story, I think.
Kind of a fun story. We covered it on here. Yeah. We played that as well. That's been a huge party hit for us every time we have
that was
the Ortiz family over.
From Pop House, right? That's a great social party game.
Yeah, we had previously recorded, it was over. We pulled that out. Then we had Audra's family over. Then we had our friends over who've been on the show and are on the Fast when we covered Fast and Furious on here. Richard and Bailey, they were over. We played it. Had a great time.
Yeah.
So, but we played at Marvel United.
We played X-Men wrong, and that's okay. I have played the Juggernaut, and he is not. I have not figured out how to beat him easily, as you would say. But so that
I have to break
you
it
sent me
back
that,
out
and I was like, "Oof, there's no way."
Yeah. It was Beast, Magneto.
I think Wolverine. I think I saw in a picture, maybe.
I think Audra was Wolverine, and then Bailey was. Is Emma Frost in that box?
Probably not. In a basic box? No.
Rogue or
Mystique?
Storm, maybe. Mystique. She was Mystique.
Okay.
Um, yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
time. It was a great game.
X-Men
But
United, fantastic as always. We never
yeah,
say enough good things.
that's one of my favorite games.
It should be what is it? Multiverse should be coming end of July, I think they said. They pushed
And
everything back
then
to July, which is fine.
DC, the DC
Yeah.
one starts.
Yeah. Nothing new on my end game wise. You kind of know, but I'm ramping up for the summer. I do a different program at my work for the summer, so I've just been doing that. I've been doing some college stuff, just falling behind on my gaming, which is fine. Take a little break, but that's all taken care of. So I'm ready to dive back in. Some of the new games I got in recently. I'm kind of pumped
Some
for all that. So look
we've
forward to
been
some
getting,
new fun reviews this summer.
yeah, check the Instagram out. We've been getting a lot of nice stuff lately. So
Mm-hmm.
there'll
Yeah,
be a
very nice.
lot of fun stuff on the Gateway Gamers court.
Yep. Yeah, the
The
throne
Gateway Gamers
drop
court.
getting
Court of games.
I don't gifts to my throne, my board
The
game throne.
no, what would be
My cardboard throne.
yeah, the what are they when they give like little gifts? What do they
I
call
couldn't think. That's what I was literally trying to think of the same thing. Nifty
like
gifties. Yeah.
pledge or
Tithes. The tithes of game.
whatever. Like when people give their like give gifts towards the
Yeah.
who cares?
Accolades to the king.
Sure.
Yeah. So one of the gifts we've received recently was, if you see the title, Dominion. I have never played this game. For as long as I've been a gamer, this is not a I've been aware of this game, but it's never come across my table.
Absolutely.
So let me get some stats on Dominion. So Dominion came out in 2008. This is the second edition that you and I played. Came out in 2016. 2 to 4 players, ages 14 up, plays for about a half hour. MSRP's for about 50, but you can usually get it 35 to 40 nowadays. Designed by Donald Vaccarino and published by Rio Grande Games. This being the second edition, it was reworked by Donald Vaccarino. He went in, it was just like, all right, what can I update with the times? What cards don't work? What cards work? What can I add? So he took, I think, 7 cards out that weren't working, or at least were like kind of bland, and put in like 6 new ones. So I thought that was interesting. He was like, all right, like the times have changed throughout years of playing. Like he took feedback from people who played the game, or was like, all right, these cards aren't working. Let's get them out there and see what I can rework in. Like I like that.
Yeah, I always appreciate trying to revamp your game.
Mm-hmm. You and I have covered deck builders before. That's what this game is. This is what they call the granddaddy of deck builders, because this was kind of the first deck builder that ever hit the market. This is the one that brought deck building to the mainstream. I think people say there's a one or two that had a similar deck builder style, but this is the one that hit the market hard. This is usually people's top 10 games ever. It's usually in
Really?
the Board Game Geek top 100 games of all time. Yeah,
Wow.
this is a very beloved game. What's your
Cool.
first thought on it? Like, as you and I love deck builders, we've played what Harry Potter deck builder we covered on here, both of them, the Duo one and the Hogwarts Battle. You and I played DC deck builder together. Haven't covered on here yet, which is weird.
Oh yeah,
I'm
oh yeah. We've only played that like once though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if we played any other ones, but just kind of like, what's your first impression of this?
My first impression, having played all these other games before is this is about as basic as you can get. And while there are some mechanics that the game has that other games could use, this is a big no for me. Um, if I'm going to play a deck builder, I'd rather it be IP themed, is what we
Mm.
normally cover, or at least more interesting. And I'm not into the medieval times at all. Like I like
Mm-hmm.
Game of Thrones, but other than that, it doesn't interest me. So I wasn't turned on by the theming, mechanics and everything. I praise it for what it is, especially it came first. And normally this is what happens unless you're like truly great, like Magic the Gathering, where people copy you and improve and
Mm,
whatever. This just didn't do it for me.
hmm.
Um, the art's good, gameplay's fine, mechanics are great, but if I never saw this game again, perfectly fine with it.
Okay. And that's fair because I figured that because when I pulled the box out and you kind of saw like the theme, you're like, I don't know. And I was like, listen, it's a deck builder and kind of gave you like this is the first deck builder. It's gonna be good. Trust me. Like this is everyone's favorite game. And
Yeah,
I could
it
tell,
wasn't bad.
yeah, I could tell playing it, you were just kind of like, this is good, but you've done it before. Where
Hmm.
like we love, I don't want to act like I don't. We love the Harry Potter Hogwarts battle game because we love the
That
IP.
that game's a staple in this
Yeah.
household, in my house. My wife loves that game. We play that a lot. And that to me, when I say mechanics that should be in this game from from this one that should be in the Harry Potter one, like there's a clear one that we'll get
Hmm.
to. But
Yeah.
exactly. I think there's just things that scratch my itch of
Hmm.
interest a lot better.
You're an IP goblin. We talked about it before. You
I
are
am
more
agree.
drawn to an IP, and that's fine because that's why there are IP games that exist.
But it's just like it's something that I'm interested in for like a
Hmm.
game. And it's like why people rely on brands
Hmm.
because they know they're going to like it. And so for this covers a lot of people's interest. There's a lot of people that would be into this. There's a lot of people who are probably listening to this going, RP, you fool. No wonder you're a jester.
So let's go through the gameplay just so we can kind of talk about how it's played. In case you never played a deck builder, in Dominion you play as a monarch, and you're wealthy, but you want to be wealthier. You want to build a giant kingdom or a dominion, hence the name Dominion. You start with 10 cards, just like any other deck builder. You start with 3 estates, which are just basic victory point cards, and then 7 coppers, which are your money to buy more cards. What I really liked about this game compared to other deck builders, especially we'll say Harry Potter is going to be our go-to one that we reference because that's the one we played the most. You have the market cards where you randomly kind of draw from the market cards, and those are the cards you have the option to buy from. In Dominion, you set up your kingdom with 10 cards, 10 card stacks of 10. So what's really cool about that is there are 26 kingdom cards. You're only using 10 in the kingdom. So every time you play, you could have a different 10 kingdom cards that are out. So it's a different strategy. There's no like definite, someone's not going to figure out like, oh, I buy this all the time. I buy this all the time. I'm probably going to win. So the really cool thing about setting up your kingdom, which was something you and I both kind of enjoyed, was they give you a randomizer. So in the box, you get one of the 26 kingdom cards. They have like a different background, and you're supposed to draw 10 of those randomly. And that's the kingdom you kind of have. You can set it up however you want. Like if there's certain ones you like to have, you could put them in there. But I,
Yeah, I thought that was very cool.
yeah, the couple times I played, I just did the randomizer. So again, there's not a specific strategy. There's not a definite strategy that you're kind of doing. So you have your kingdom, you have your copper cards, silver and gold set up at the top. You have more base cards, which are like the estate, the duchy, the providence. These are locations that you're trying to buy. Those are the victory points for the end of the game. And then there's a trash mat for when you trash cards. And that's the basic setup. Now, to play, as cheesy as this sounds, is as easy as ABC. It's the action phase, the buy phase, and then the cleanup phase. So the action phase is you have your deck, you draw 5 cards. If 4 of those cards are the copper, you could buy 4 worth of whatever in the cards. So if silver is 3 coin to buy, you take your 4 and buy a silver. Goes into your discard pile. You can play an action card. It's one action card, one buy card, and then that's kind of it. So an action card would be, there's a card called like the Festival, where when you play it, it gives you two more actions you could play. You could buy one more card on your turn, and then it also gives you like 2 gold. And that's kind of it. Then at the end of the turn, you sweep all the cards you bought or any cards you have left, goes in your discard pile. Next person's turn, they do ABC. And then the game just kind of goes and goes and goes. And like we kind of talked about, deck builder is you're building your deck. You are buying cards from this kingdom deck to build your deck bigger, to buy the province cards, so you get more points. The game ends when the providence stack is done, or 3 of the kingdom card stack are completely bought out. Which is good because you can have the game go as quick as you want or as long as you want. If you see a stack's getting low, but you don't think you have enough points, you can start buying from some of the other stacks to
Yeah.
prolong the game a bit.
Yeah, that's what I liked about how we played. It wasn't any longer than, a typical game that we play, not a
Mm-hmm.
deck builder, just a typical game, which hit that sweet spot of like
It was like a half
20,
hour.
yeah, 20 minutes to a half
Yeah.
hour, I think. I don't remember. But I remember it being like quick and didn't feel long because I wasn't loving, like, it's not a bad game. Don't get me wrong,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a bad game. It didn't have my interest, so sometimes those games take a while in
Mm-hmm.
my mind. Like we could play a game that doesn't have my interest and it's 10 minutes and it feels like an hour. Where this was pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's always a good bang for your buck.
And it took me like 3 minutes to explain to you how to play. I mean, you have some deck builder knowledge, but even if you
Yeah.
didn't, what I just explained is super simple. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, I draw cards. I have this many copper, which is worth this much gold. I could buy this card. Or,
Mhm.
like, as the game goes on, you're buying silver and gold, and then some of the card actions have additional money you can buy. So it's just like, all right, I could play one action card. I could buy one card, unless
Yeah.
these cards are like stacking on the top of each other.
And the simplicity of the cards itself. Because sometimes you get, some of these cards and they're like XYZ, where this is just like it tells you what you do.
Oh yeah, you read it
Point
in
blank.
order. Yep.
It's not like some of these other games we can play can be a little bit, I'm not saying confusing but like can be a little bit misleading.
Yeah, or
But
wordy.
this or exactly
Yeah,
wordy. I think that's the word I was more looking for, wordy, where this is kind of straight to the point. And you get it pretty easily.
yeah. So
And why it's a perfect gateway game.
yeah, so we had 2 very different play styles. RP went very attack heavy,
Hmm.
and I know one of the cards you were using a lot was like the bandit,
Yep,
the really
Smokey and the Bandit.
yeah, to screw me over.
Yeah, I was using the Bandit a lot, which helped me gain gold and then reveal. Hold on, I think I actually have a picture of it. It says, yeah, gain a gold, and then each other player reveals the top 2 cards of their deck, trashes a revealed treasure other than copper, and discards the rest. So this is a very convenient card to have.
Hmm.
I really enjoyed it, and I got a lot of use out of it. A little
It
Robin Hood, Power Ranger, Green Arrow
looking guy, yeah. It
looking
really worked on me because
character.
my goal was to go money heavy. I was
Yeah.
buying a lot of gold. I was buying a lot of silver. So this making me trash my gold and silver was hurting me pretty badly.
Yeah, and I also used the militia, which kind of did a similar thing as well.
Yeah, the
Which
militia was annoying because it gave you gold and then I had to like draw down. Instead of having 5 cards in my hand, I would have 3. So you
mhm.
just kept like limiting me. And then the witch, somehow all the attack cards came out for one game because it was just like the witch gives you access to draw 2 more cards in your hand. And then
Yeah,
she
which
gives you a
gave
curse, which is a negative point in the end game. And it fills my deck as well. So like you were giving me these curses, playing the militia to negate my hand down to 3. So at some points I would have like 2 curses which were useless,
yeah.
and then like 1 card that I could barely getting by.
Yeah, and the witch's art was my favorite. It was the coolest.
Yeah. The witch is most random though, because this is a very reality based game.
Oh
Nothing in
yeah, I
it
know.
is fantasy, and then all of a sudden there's a witch, which
Witches are real, man.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So that was your strategy. You went very attack heavy, and it was effective. It really was, where I was just trying to buy all the providences to end the game as quick as I could and have the most points, and it
Which,
wasn't working out for me.
which is
As
actually, people who listen to the show shouldn't be surprised that when we play a game, these are our methods.
yeah,
These tend to be our methods.
yeah, you're the wild card at times, and just like, how can I slow him down because I don't know what I'm doing?
Yep.
A couple of the cards I really liked. I liked the poacher, which was like gives me one draw, one action, and one coin. And in the beginning of the game, it was really strong. But as like the kingdom cards went down, like if there were two empty rows of kingdom cards, I would have to discard a card. And like thinking about it, it was super thematic because it was basically in the beginning of the game, you're hunting and you're a poacher and you're very like profitable. And then as the game's going on and these stacks are going down, like you're over poaching, kind of. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of how I took it. I was like, oh, like that's actually one of the few thematic cards in this game.
Well, they buy into the theme, but like
It's
it's
simple.
it's
It's simple
yeah.
theme. Yeah.
It's sometimes it's all you need. You do a little bit too much, you overwhelm people.
Yeah. I'll just go through some of the other cards because again, they're pretty easy to understand. You have the market card, which was one draw card. You get an extra action on your turn, one extra card to buy, and then one coin. Again, no bells or whistles. Like it was
Nope.
just that's what it is. And
Exactly what
then
you
the
need.
merchant, you get one draw card, one extra action on your turn. The first time you play a silver this turn, you get one extra gold. That's it. Just
Easy.
kind of like there it is. Remodel, trash a card from your hand, gain a card costing up to two, like more than it costs. So if I get rid of a 3 cost card, I could buy a 5 cost card, which was something you actually really liked about this game. You kind of hinted at it with the Harry Potter game missing
Yeah.
one of the mechanics in here. You really like the trash mechanic.
Yes, I did, and I think it's something that a lot of games should have because you get stuck with these. Harry Potter, it's one round, and then a lot of it just hits back. But being able to gain coin off of trashing your cards is
Hmm.
basically genius. So you're not stuck with these like kind of crappier cards in the grand scheme of things. And I think it's a great component and something that a lot of deck builders should have.
Yeah, that was something you were kind of like, oh, this is good. Like I'm getting rid of because as the game's going on and you have like these copper cards that aren't as special and you have or like some of these bad cards, you're like, all right, like I don't need this anymore. I kind of bought this not knowing what it
Yeah.
did. You were using some of these other trash cards to get rid of them to thin your
Hmm.
deck so you could get more attack cards.
Yep.
And
It pleased the court to do
yeah,
so.
yeah, you
That's all.
were getting rid of some of your lower cards or cards that you bought early, you didn't know what they were.
Yep. And it
So
allows you to.
your assassin or whatever could come out and stab me more.
Yeah, it allowed me to, like, if I made a mistake, kind of just get rid of it and try and do something good of it. Like in terms of buying you gotta buy in the wrong card.
Hmm.
So I didn't feel trapped, and that was kind of a key to my success, I think. Um, but yeah.
Um, but that's kind of all we have to say. Like I have to say about Dominion. That's how it plays. It's super simple. ABC. You play an action, buy a card, and then you just kind of clean up your deck. If you played a deck builder before, you owe it all to this. You kind of gave your idea or opinion of this game. You didn't love it because of the theme, which is fair. If you didn't play the Harry Potter game, if this was the first time you played a deck builder, would you have a different feeling about it? So just going by mechanics, because this, I'll go right now. The theme is dry. It's as dry as the desert.
Yep.
You could literally take the pictures off the cards and play the cards with just text, and they would mean pretty much the same because there's
Yeah.
only like one or two cards that are actually like felt thematic.
Yeah.
So just going by like that, like would you still like a deck builder?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of my preferred gaming types.
Okay.
So I would give it a shot. But again, I'm big on theming. Like
Yeah.
sure we can have fun with it, but we both prefer when something is
Yeah.
not IP themed, just heavily oozing theme.
Yeah, we love a theme.
And it's lacking for me.
Yeah.
Maybe when he went back and did his second, maybe he could go back and do a third edition and kind of spice it up a bit.
Zhuzh it up a bit more.
Yeah, zhuzh it up. Hey,
Um,
reach out to us. We'll help you.
yeah, no, don't do that. All right,
Okay.
so I'm gonna
I'm
go
fine.
through the usual breakdown of this. The theme, we talked about it. The theme is just, I don't even say non-existent, but it's very dry. It's just
It
like,
just doesn't do it for me.
yeah,
But
I
I
don't,
think maybe people who are big Renaissance fans or
but I
like that
also just
genre,
I don't feel like
it's
you
essential to the
feel it.
game.
You don't feel like
Yeah.
you're building a kingdom. You're just
Yeah.
playing cards.
Yeah. I don't, and it's not essential to the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like you could put anything on here. You could change this to anything, being anything. The cards are just pictures and words. Like there were only, like I said, the one card that I mentioned and like a few other where I went, oh, that makes sense because it's this. But some of
Right.
the cards, it was just like one coin, one draw, one. I'm just like, why?
Yeah.
Why is a fair get me one coin, one draw, one extra action? But that just is what it is. However, I like the art. Like I liked the look of the game. I liked the aesthetics of it, like of the cards themselves. I enjoyed. I thought the art was really well done. I think the layout of everything is well done on the table. It looked
Yeah.
fine. Like it was just kind of like a deck of cards, but from afar, like the artwork definitely like popped a bit. Replay value I think is super high. With it being the 26 different kingdom cards you could have and only using 10 and having that randomizer, you're having a different game every time you play. And then with
Yeah.
the expansions, which I think there's 16 at this point, of this
Holy
kind, yeah,
pajamas.
I
So you're
think you
looking
could,
at like 1,000 cards.
oh, easily more. I mean,
How
this
much
has
is in each
500 alone.
expansion? How much is in each expansion?
You're put me on the spot, but I imagine probably just as many, if not
Holy
a
pajamas.
hundred, because
That's
I
a
some of the boxes look like the same size as this. So
then you can't. You just.
yeah, they might be standalone. You might be able to play them alone and then
I
mix
mean,
and
at that
match.
point, it's like why? Like, and good for them, but
I
like,
don't know because I can't speak on them because I don't have any, but there's people that love this game and
yeah,
have
but it's
bought
like,
every expansion and have like the uh, put everything into one giant box.
good for them.
So in that sense, Marvel Legendary, which you haven't played, is a
I have
Marvel.
played that. I thought I played that one.
You play Champions. You haven't played Legendary.
Mm, mm,
I bought so much for that game
yeah, I know
and
you.
haven't played most of it. I equate it the same, where it's like someone loves the minions, just like ooh more.
Yeah,
With the Marvel Legendary, it was like, oh, a Spider-Man pack, oh, Doctor
villains.
Strange pack, oh, like it was just like,
It's like me and villainous. I don't need them,
yeah.
but I get them.
Um, so the replay value of the base game is already there. You start adding expansions, you're making like a quadrillion different options that you can have with the
Hmm.
randomizer. Ease
Yeah,
of
replay.
play, this game is like simple. And that's not in a bad sense that's like simple, but I mean like this is a gateway game. This is a game I feel like you could teach anybody
Oh yeah, for
and they'll
sure.
understand it. It says 14 plus, you could teach this to a 9-year-old. This is or younger. Like it's just as you
No,
said, the
100%
cards are
agree.
so boom, boom, boom. There's not
Hmm.
a boatload text. There's not a lot of confusing things. It's this, do this, and that's
Yeah,
it. So I think the ease of play is extremely. This is a gateway game for sure. This took me 5 minutes, if that, to teach you with your
yeah,
experience of deck builders. But I think even somebody who's never played deck builder, I think you could easily teach this game.
100%.
Strategy, it's there. It's
Yeah.
different. Like I said, my strategy was get gold, buy stuff. Yours was stab me 1,000 times and screw me over. They both
But
worked
like,
in their own ways. But
and
with the randomizer, it might not work out that way ever again because I think there's only one card in the game where I could have stopped your attacks. It didn't come out. If
yeah, I mean, like every deck builder we play, it's just kind of the luck of the
it's
draw.
Yeah, it's very luck. But if the moat would have came out, which is the card that stops attacks, your game might have been negated, where I could have just kept negating your attacks and rolled over you.
But that is not how fate saw
But
it.
nope, that's it's not what I don't know what the try to think of the three sisters from Macbeth or whatever.
Oh, from Hercules?
Yeah, what are they?
Oh, past, present, future? I don't know.
Yeah, man, I just can't. I'm gonna leave this in. I don't
Yeah,
care.
you should. I mean, we're not Greek. We're not Greek
The
experts.
fates,
The fates, that's it.
the fates is
Tis the
not what the
fates.
fates decided.
Tis the
Um,
fates.
but that is Dominion. I highly recommend it if you've never played it to at least try it. I know you have a different opinion. Would you at least recommend to try this game as a historical game, as it being like the first deck builder?
Yes. Yeah, if you can get a good deal on it, but I mean at
Yeah,
that
or even
point
just
just
try
spend
it.
them.
Just play someone's copy. The
Yeah.
library, some libraries carry this game because it's such
Okay.
a history
If
piece.
if that works in your favor, then sure. If not, I'd say spend the money on if you listen to this show, your probably interests lie where ours do,
Mm,
and your money might be better spent on a Hogwarts battle or something else. But
mhm.
everybody's got different interests.
Yeah, and that's why
It's a great
I
gateway game. It's great for this podcast. It's great for how it exists
mhm.
and that it's set up everything to come.
Yeah, for sure. In that sense, I think it's a great game just because of what became of it being the first. But it is, like I said, it's a solid game. It's just I think just being the first and us being IP heavy and playing, we love Harry Potter. You and I love the Harry Potter IP. So we love doing like Aloha Mora and all the
Yeah.
spells and recruiting the people we like. And it just kind of works out that way. But if that game didn't exist and this was the only deck builder, I would still be like, oh, this is a great game. And I can see why it's on people's top 10 list.
Mhm.
If you played it, it's that almost like a nostalgia thing. If you played this in 2008 and this was like your gateway game, you'd be like, oh, Dominion, like those were the days. Like it never got better than that.
Yeah.
But it kind of has. But that's all we got to say. At least all I got to say. You have anything you want to wrap it up with?
No, I said my piece.
No? Okay. What's going on with the previous recorded? You have a giant summer event going on. I've been a guest on it. You've had amazing guests on it. You've had Hugh Jackman. You have
Yeah.
had Ryan Reynolds on. What are you doing over there?
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds was a huge get. He actually said that he thought we were too big for him.
Mm,
But no, it's been great, man. We've been revisiting all the X-Men films and everybody that's a part of the Fox universe, Daredevil, Fantastic Four. So be on the lookout for that. Go head over to our page. We're on YouTube now, just like Gateway.
mm,
Um, Check us out. Give us a listen. Recommend, like, subscribe. Check out the Redbubble and T Public store. But it's just been a fun recap of everything. A lot of what we grew up with. A lot of we haven't gotten to the crap yet. I'll say that.
mm. It's
Um,
coming.
but Brian's been a huge help coming on the show. There's a lot of movies to cover, so any help I can get and any new perspective I can get as well, we appreciate it. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And
Hmm.
so if you're listening, thank you. Um, and if you haven't listened yet, go check it out.
Yeah, jump on if you're a Deadpool fan.
Yeah, it's fun.
We got our tickets
We're
for Deadpool Wolverine. We're ready.
Yep. We That's the whole point of why we're doing this is to get everybody prepped. And so we're bi-weekly now, but heading into Deadpool and Wolverine month of July, we're going to be weekly and get you all caught up with everything you need to see because it takes place. The movie takes place before Logan, so we'll have everything that
Is that
you
confirmed?
need. Yeah, yeah, they
Oh,
said
I
that.
didn't know that. I learned something
Hmm.
new.
Yep. Because Feige was like Logan's the perfect send off, so this was kind of like their
Mm.
way around that, and to not undo Logan. Uh, so we'll have you caught up with everything you need, and that's the main point of doing it. So even if you just need a refresher on Deadpool 1 and 2, you don't have time to watch the movie, check out the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's awesome over there. But thank you so much to everybody who's listened. Thank you to Rio Grande Games for sending us this copy, especially Jay over there at Rio Grande Games. He was awesome to work with and
Yeah,
kind of
thank
get
you.
this going. And like RP said, be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a rating. We're on YouTube. Instagram is our main hub, but we're on Threads,
Twitter,
Twitter/X, Facebook. What are some other
Instagram,
socials out there?
Instagram,
Well,
Discord,
Instagram's our heaviest one, yeah.
um,
Uh,
and
I,
head over to the Redbubble and T Public store where you can buy hats now.
yeah,
With the summer
they got
sun's out, you
hats
gotta
on one
protect
of
from
them,
that.
right? They've always had hats on one, but I think T Public has hats now. So
Yeah, so check it out.
yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and see you soon.
Bye bye.